and working with LGBT students and their families.
Devastated over the death of 18-year-old Tyler Clementi. If you don't know, Tyler was a bright student at Rutgers University whose life was senselessly cut short. He was outed as being gay on the internet and he killed himself. Something must be done. This needs to be a wake-up call to everyone that teenage bullying and teasing is an epidemic in this country and the death rate is climbing. One life lost in this senseless way is tragic. 4 lives lost is a crisis. My heart is breaking for their families, for their friends, and for our society that continues to let this happen. There are messages everywhere that validate this kind of bullying and targeting, and we have to make it stop. We can't let intolerance and ignorance take another kid's life. There is help out there, and you can find support in your community. Things will get easier, people's minds will change, and you should be alive to see it. You should be alive to see it.
It is important for counselors to remember that when trying to refer appropriate to lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender people, the way certain words and terms are fluid and evolving. Lesbian, a woman who forms physical and emotional relationships with some women. Gay, commonly used to describe men, this term refers to people who form physical and emotional relationships with persons of the same gender. The term gay can be used to refer to both men and women, or more generally, to the gay community. Bisexual is someone who is attracted physically and emotionally to persons of the same and different genders. Bisexual people are not necessarily attracted equally to both men and women at the same time. Transgender, an umbrella term for anyone whose gender identity and gender expressions don't fit social ideas and norms of gender, which can include transsexual, cross-dresser, genderqueer people, and other gender non-conforming individuals. In order for the term to be applied appropriately, a person must self-identify as transgender. Sexual orientation. Sexual orientation is how a person identifies sexually, meaning the physical and emotional ways they are attracted to persons of the same gender, another gender, or all genders. Sexual orientation and sexual behavior are not necessarily the same. For example, not everyone acts on their attraction. Millions of LGBT adolescents. How can school counselors benefit from the information shared in this video? Millions of LGBT adolescents are living in the United States. Studies indicate that LGBT youths are at risk for a number of negative experiences and outcomes associated with how others react to their sexual orientation and/or gender identity. LGBT students are more commonly likely than their peers to suffer from depression, harassment, suicidal thoughts and attempts, abuse, physical, verbal, sexual, and other trauma, and being victims of bullying. That is why it is crucial that all policymakers, administrators, counselors, and all other providers seek to learn more about youth who are lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, questioning intersex, or two-spirit, and how to develop culturally and linguistically competent programs and services to meet their needs and preferences.
I was in the 3rd grade, I thought I was going to psychodrama. I was, and I kept my room straight. I told my mom, tears rushing down my face. She said, Ben, you love girls before pre-K. She had a point, didn't she? Bunch of stereotypes all in my head. I remember doing the math like, yeah, I'm good at Italy, a preconceived idea of what it all meant. But those who like the same sex have the characteristics the right-wing conservatives think it's a decision. And they be cured with some treatment and religion. A man-made rewiring of a predisposition playing God. America the brave still fears what we don't know. God loves all his children and somehow forgotten. And we paraphrase a book written 39 years ago. I don't know, and I can't change. Even if I tried, wanted to, I can't change. Even if I try, my love, she keeps me warm. She keeps me warm. My love, she keeps me warm. Care. We just know that the fight ain't fair, so we keep on waiting on the world to change.
How will school counselors effectively address these issues as children continue to evolve? According to the California Safe Schools Coalition, schools have steps that they can take to preventing school harassment for LGBT students and all students that make up the student body. The steps included are to establish and publish a harassment policy that specifically includes topics of sexual orientation. Train teachers and staff to have zero tolerance about negative comments or offensive slurs. Support the establishment of Gay-Straight Alliance or similar club. Ensure that all students know where to get appropriate support related to these issues. Introduce curriculum that includes LGBT people and information about sexual identity and gender identity. The outcomes from doing the above could be fewer incidents of harassment and bullying, improved feelings of safety, better school climate for all. Factors to promote resiliency school-wide. Caring, supporting adults. Number 1, promote adults that promote healthy relationships with the families of the youth whom they work with. Supportive adults that are available to mentor. Adults that are available for confidential conversations. And adults that provide forums for staff members to publicly recognize the youth. High expectations. The school promotes educational and career goals and provide youth an opportunity to accomplish these goals. Youth in the school have a clear message communicated to them that staff expectations are high and they will become healthy, normal, successful adults. Opportunities for meaningful participation. A variety of forums are available at the school for creating policy or influence decisions that affect LGBT students' lives. Opportunities are available through the school for youth to gain life skills and develop and pursue their interest in how counselors support LGBT children and their families. According to Ryan, in the past, very few adolescents came out to their families due to the fear of rejection and serious negative reactions. Many adolescents waited until they were adults to talk about sexual orientation with others. Today, there is a greater access to resources, which allows families, teachers, and providers the opportunity to educate themselves with accurate information on sexual orientation and gender identity. Providers that work with LGBT children, youth, and families should identify community and online resources, ask the LGBT students and those questioning their sexual orientation or gender identity about how their family reacts to their identity, provide supportive education and counseling, use screening to identify the level of family rejection and related health risks in LGBT students, follow up with families as needed, tell parents about the negative reaction and how that can impact their child's physical and mental health, help families identify supportive behaviors that protect against risk and promote their LGBT well. Ethical and legal standards should be addressed when considering the issue. According to the American Civil Liberties Union, the law requires school officials to protect LGBT students that are facing discrimination and harassment. It is imperative that all professionals working with students are informed and educated on the laws that protect the rights of the students they work with. Harassment. Public schools are required under federal law to remedy the abuse of lesbian and gay students. The school does not have the right to out any student without their permission, and this violates the constitutional right to privacy. Freedom of speech. Schools cannot punish students who are open about their sexual orientation or expressing their beliefs. Gay-straight alliances. The Federal Equal Access Act says that if public school permits non-curricular clubs, then it must allow students to form GSA if they want to, and the school has to treat it as it does other non-curricular clubs. Prom. The public school cannot stop LGBT students from bringing the same sex academic achievement of students and the general mission of the schools. According to the California Coalition for Safe Schools, research shows that many students feel unsafe at school and that there is a correlation between safety and academic performance. The students report better academic outcomes when they feel safe in school. The result is particularly strong for LGBT students. Results from the study show that harassment at school was linked to lower academic achievement among LGBT students. Students who were more frequently harassed because of their sexual orientation or gender expression reported an average GPA almost half a grade lower than students who were less often harassed. These studies suggest that school safety is an important factor in Helpful national resources for professionals working with LGBT students and their families. References used. All students deserve the support of their school counselors. Thank you for watching.